everybody. Welcome to Hoes on Air. I'm your host, Lucy. This is your host, Sarah. And we're rounding out a solid beginning of another set of 10. Aren't we? This is episode 11, right?
Is it
double
really?
digits?
Wow,
yes.
to 11.
Cheers.
Ho, word.
Word. So thanks
hoes.
for joining us.
Thank you for joining.
Don't be shy in calling in on this one, guys. We have a fun special guest. But before we get into that, how are you, Ho?
Oh, I'm good. I'm delighted that our guest is here. We're going to have some fun today. I have some fun topics that I'm really interested in his opinion on, truly. And I think that our listeners are really going to enjoy the different dynamic that you get when you have different experiences in life to bring to the table. We're going to intellectualize together. It's going to be fun.
Wow, I don't know if I can handle all of that.
Did you follow any of?
No.
Did you even listen to what I just said?
Kind of. It goes like in one ear and out the other sometimes. But you had me at high.
All right. Well, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm wading through life right now. Yes. Mm-hmm. So it's been fun.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any sponsors that we should mention? Like
yeah, we have our amazing sponsor, and I don't know that Aaron's ready for the commercial yet, but we do have our wonderful sponsor. If you're in an accident or you know somebody that's in an accident and you need helps,
all the helps,
you want to call 702 Justice, right?
702
Justice.
Yeah, that's what we got so far. But it'll help you remember the number if you need helps.
We'll get professional singers and stuff for that
someday.
Hey, that's an extra cost.
Thank you for being here with us, people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So what do you got for me today?
Well, I have a lot today. Do you want to start before we bring on our guest?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be discussing, well, I shouldn't talk about what we're going to be discussing, but today I noticed that there is no end to the dust bunnies. And this got me on a philosophical tangent because Dust bunnies. Anybody else who has pets or just dust, pets just make it more vivid. I have a house full that I cannot keep up with, and I noticed that some people have the little round robot things.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
Do you like it?
Yeah, except it clogs up with a lot of dog hair because I got 4 dogs.
Well, and that is exactly why I haven't purchased one, because I'm like, how can it really get everything? And they're very pricey.
Well, it can, but it's not something that, it's automated, so it goes off every day at a certain time. But you actually do have to stop and empty the filter every day when you have that many dogs.
Okay, fine. But wouldn't it be easier to just get a Swiffer? Where I'm going with this is I felt overwhelmed.
Well, no, it's not easier because it does it when you're not at home. It does it automatically whenever, which is also fun because if your dog throws up or has a shadoobie in the middle of the house and your robot goes automatic, it will pick that up and just squish it all around the floor as it does its little thing. And then you come home and you're like, oh, great, now I got to clean the floors.
It's spreading it all. Okay, now Lucy just made a case
did it just sell you? You want one now, don't you?
Oh, no. I never thought of that. A big old shadoobie in the middle of the room, and now it's spreading it all over. All right, well, I'm not here to talk about...
all my dogs go outside with the exception of one who's still a puppy, and sometimes, he decides he goes where he wants.
Oh, I've seen him do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not here to be Martha Stewart and talk about domesticity, but I am here to mention that I felt overwhelmed. This is just the way that one way of many.
Don't you have cleaning ladies?
Of feeling, but they can't be there every day. You don't understand the shedding. Where I'm going here is I just felt overwhelmed. So I go for a walk, as you know I do, And today I saw shadoobies. And I know that that's no surprise to you as you walk in and you see them. But today I decided to go the extra mile and try and clean up a shadoobie that did not belong to my dog.
Oh.
Or me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was neither one of our...
It didn't belong to you.
It's neither one of our...
I would be concerned if you were walking down the street and we're like, oh man, I forgot to pick up my shadoobie from yesterday.
I noticed you didn't ask. Anyway, so I'm trying to go the extra mile. And you know that the bags that we use, they're kind of slim.
Yeah.
Okay. I go to pick up the extra shadoobie, and what does there's this rumor going around.
Your shadoobie is Carl, Raquel? That's funny. She doesn't call him shadoobies. She calls him Carls.
Carl's.
Oh, your robot.
Yes.
Her robot
the
is Carl.
robot.
Ours is Consuela.
Why Consuela?
I didn't
Lucy?
name her. Family Guy, yeah.
Okay, but what I'm trying to tell you,
No
you know-
lemon pledge, no.
no,
No.
no,
No, she never says no. It's always no.
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 I don't have a Consuela, but what I did have after trying to do the good deed of cleaning up another Shadoobie, and by the way, it had been there for days, and I think it's the same dog doing it too, because the Shadoobies are the same color and they're
Oh my
the same
God, you've inspected
size.
this.
Yes.
Are you going to put up a
Shadoobie-
nighttime camera just to see?
You know what?
Little infrared going on.
You know what? Maybe
Neighborhood
I will
watch.
after this, because there were so many of them to choose from. And I think it's from the same dog. And so I went to go and pick it up. But what good was given to me for this service?
Your
is
bag
that-
was broken.
No, but
Oh.
it was pretty bad. Somehow my finger dipped the wrong way. Yeah. And so I don't need to say the rest. And this was from people. The point I'm trying to illustrate here is that
No good deed goes unpunished.
yes. If you are tempted to clean up another poor dog owner's mess, maybe just don't. But I do this out of respect to we have HOAs and landscapers. I don't want them stepping in all of that.
Well, it's funny that you say that because there's a lot of people that feel that because they pay into an HOA that is part of their dues, that they don't have to pick up the dog poo.
I've seen them on the Nextdoor app. I told you
It's
about that one.
ridiculous.
She's like, well, I saw the poo lady today, and she informed me that she won't be picking up any of the poo because that's what HOA fees are for. There's a whole community
What
of
is
people who
wrong
feel
with
like
these
that.
people?
I don't
Seriously.
know. I don't know, but I'm already bored. Would you like to introduce today's guest?
Oh my God, we have a guest today, you guys. He has no clue what he's in for. This is going to be fun. Please welcome our special guest, Jaxon. He's our social media guru.
Jaxon,
I'm looking
welcome.
to learn something new about this guy. Oh, you are in the hot seat. Welcome,
Come
welcome.
between us. Yes, thank you for
What
being
am I
here.
getting
may-
myself into here?
You may
A
have
good
to,
time.
There's a little paddle on the side there. You may want to come up a
Oh,
bit
we
so you're
good?
not so
We
little.
got this?
Well, yeah, and you got to
Or
be
is
up
it gonna-
where the
Up,
microphone is.
There you
and-
go.
There we go.
There it is.
Okay,
There
well,
it is.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Cheers.
Jaxon,
Cheers.
welcome to Hose on Air.
Welcome, welcome.
Cheers.
Hey.
Thank you for being with us today.
I have a confession to make.
Please. Oh, he's
Oh,
coming
can we
right
hear
in.
him, Aaron?
What's
Yeah.
your confession?
That was my Shadoobie that you were picking up.
all four of them on the whole hill.
Listen,
Jaxon.
I drink a lot of coffee. But I appreciate it. It saves me a lot of time when you go pick it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. You know what I appreciate? I
What?
appreciate people who I'm noticing your ensemble today. Can you tell
Yes.
us a little bit about when you picked this out and why you chose it?
I did not choose this. I just let my girlfriend dress me because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I
Good
just let her
choice.
decide, and as long as she's happy, I'm doing all right. you
So
know?
really? So you
Yeah.
don't really? Would it be unusual to find an ensemble that you come in and say, "Yeah, I chose this myself today"?
So I like to pick it, but I find whenever I buy something, I immediately regret it and realize that it was not the right decision.
Mistake.
Pretty much every single time. So you got to know your
Yep.
strengths and your weaknesses. You know.
Yes, you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, on Hose on Air, we like to dive right in. What are your
Okay.
biggest regrets in life, and did they involve alcohol?
One of my biggest regrets in life.
And did
Well,
they
the
involve
first one is
alcohol?
coming on this podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, no, it's true.
I don't know. What are my
No,
biggest
dig
regrets?
deep. Dig deep. Give us something.
Regrets in what? In just
Any-
all of life and business and
All of-
personal life.
It could be
What?
simple, like
you
you
get-
regret going to prom. I don't know.
It can be whatever comes to mind first.
I think my biggest regrets is dating girls just solely off their looks.
Wasn't
And
that
we
a
talk
topic
about-
recently?
That was something that
funny.
we absolutely.
I learned that the hard way. That
Do you have a
you know,
story? Oh, tell us. Oh my God. Yes, please.
I mean, I have a lot of stories.
What's
what
your
do you want to
favorite?
know?
Oh my, the juiciest one. Let's get into it.
I don't know. Like,
What's your favorite story? Well, not favorite. Okay. What is the most impactful story of a girl that you chose based on looks? We want to hear that story. How did that date
Yeah.
go? And
well,
why?
I had a
You don't have
thing
to say
for
names.
EDM girls, right?
okay.
So girls in the EDM scene, which I have learned is there's a lot of mental illness in that community.
You don't say.
Let's just say my ex tried to convince me that Molly was good for you, and
It's a health food.
and that it was part of her therapy routine.
Yes.
And you know, I'd say that pretty much can sum up what that relationship was like.
Come on, give us a little more.
I mean, what do you want to know? I don't know.
Well,
like,
how did you find out that she was actually mental ill? Like, did she take a shadoobie in the middle of the club? What are we talking here?
she might as well have.
Streaking down the street.
No, I mean, just mainly like, I don't know. I think, you know, whenever you get in a relationship with someone, like, they try to be their perfect self.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They put on a mask of what they think you want them to be when you start dating them. And then the longer you date them, once that initial like dopamine rush of like a new relationship wears off, you start seeing all their red flags. And that's when things just slowly started to reveal themselves that just were, you know, just
Red flag
got
number
worse.
one.
Yeah.
Being
What?
in the
EDC, yeah, red flag number one.
EDC
She's a
community.
rave girl. So I'd say that was probably the only one.
Okay,
I
now
really
here's
needed.
my question. How did you meet her?
Oh, like anyone in my generation does on Tinder.
on the YouTubes.
Yeah,
Oh,
on the internet.
On the internets. He knows
Yes.
the word internet.
I was looking for, you know, well, I was at a
on
rave
the
and
Tinders. Oh my God, I have questions about Tinder. So,
What do you wanna know?
Tinder.
I heard. Well, it's one of the websites
It's
that
one of
I
our
haven't been
favorite
on.
topics.
I've dabbled, and I do like the Tinders. I have heard that they are actually trying to clean up their act. That they are trying to present themselves as, in fact, one of the dating websites where you're not just looking for a hookup. Now, if you are looking for one, it's
Joy
not that
thinks
they're
you're
not
so
there
hot.
to.
Joy, are you
Shout out to
into
Joy.
raves?
Yeah, because
Are you in the
race? Girlfriend? Now, so are you in the exclusive community?
I am in a relationship. Yes.
Nice. Just so that
Sorry,
everyone
Joy.
knows. But, you know, hit on him anyway because we want
Yeah.
to see his face when you do.
Yeah. What
Yes.
you got? Give me your best pickup line.
Oh, my God. And we're going to talk
Yes,
about that
let's
too.
do that.
But where I was going is on Tinder, the word in the community is that they are trying to clean up their act and not just be a hookup site. Have you heard anything of this or experienced it?
I mean, I think Tinder is what it is. It's a tool. Like, if you
They all
want to
are.
use it to hook up, you're going to use it for that. And if you want to use it to get in a relationship, you'll use it for that.
I concur because, you know, people
know.
use Craigslist for that too.
Well, yeah, and Facebook. But, you know, I was once on eHarmony. My friend got me on there. She pressed all the buttons because I would have fallen. You know, I don't do that. And I had to answer 10 million questions. And the idea behind this is that the more questions that you answer, the more you'll be likely to be paired with someone that you actually do have something in common with. So you don't have to do all that pretend shit that you were
Yeah.
talking about a minute ago. What I found is you still have your hookup guys on there dressed like Justin Bieber with their baseball cap backwards and
Oh my
all
God,
of their,
but that's so hot.
and all of their stuff. And this is still who eHarmony is hooking me up with.
All right. Question. All right. I got a question for you guys. What are red flags that someone has on their dating profile? What do you see like on their dating profile where you're like, that's a red flag?
Okay. Oh my God.
Wedding ring in their picture.
There's that.
Toilets in the background.
Toilet. Yeah.
Toilet?
Toilet. I could show you so many toilet pictures. Oh, we're going to have a conversation. Where do I, Lucy, I just need,
Really?
where do I
is
start?
this like a
He's-
certain demographic is doing this? Or?
He's just hit the
Guys-
golden
Guys
nugget.
that aren't really trying to find something serious will take pictures in like hotel bathrooms as their profile pic, and
I
they
think
don't
they're just
realize-
homeless.
Well, they could be that.
Touche.
But they
I
don't
never thought of
realize
that.
that, you know, the reflection in the mirror also shows the urinal behind them with all the splatter, or it shows
God.
you know,
Or
like-
3 urinals. I used to have a contest when I was, you know, really heavily into doing this, and I'd be like, okay, which one is worse? The one with the toilet and the plunger. There's a plunger in it too. Or 3 urinals in a row in a public bathroom. And so another thing that men do, they'll be on there, you know, with all of their guns, you know, and again, you need to understand that there's well, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So there are women who would be looking for that. So I think that when you go on any dating website, you need to decide what is it that you're looking for and know how to spot that, because there is something
Exactly.
for everyone, or not for you, as it were. And plenty of people still go ahead and choose that because of what they feel is slim pickings. I think that a lot of people just are like, oh, well, there's nobody left. I guess I'll pick this guy. That's how I had a really great relationship once.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
nothing was left. I'm like, well, this guy looks like he has hepatitis, but maybe it's just a bad photo. You know?
Well, you know where it's getting interesting now is, especially like with my generation with social media, is like everyone's just seeing the best of the best. They're seeing the highlight reel on
Yeah.
their social media feed.
And
so they're like, that's
the
what
filters,
I want.
right? Yeah.
Right? So all these like hot, like whatever, young girls, they're going after like the rich dudes. They're going after like 10% of the guys. Right? And then you have these other guys that are like normal, where like they can't get anyone to swipe right because, you know, these girls want the guys that are making like $300,000 a year and like.
True, but these are
Yeah.
also the girls that are using a filter to take their picture, and they don't actually look the way they look.
But here's the difference: is girls are swiping for a guy they want to marry. Guys are swiping for the like. If I would have sex with them, I'm gonna swipe right. That's
Yeah.
that's the decision.
true.
So guys are disproportionately swiping right on like 90% more than
Yep.
the girls, and the girls are being very selective. And so what happens is like you find the girls, they're going after like the same guys. So the same like small group of guys, they have all these girls in their messages, and then that's why these girls are like, I can't find any good guys. It's like, no, you're going after the guy that has 175 options,
Right.
and he's not picking you.
It's The Bachelor.
And you're wondering like, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And you know, oh my gosh, it's so fabulous when I don't even have to bring up a topic and our guest already does. A
Listen,
little bit.
there's amateurs and there's professionals.
I see.
And
It's true.
I
You don't have
You
to
know.
feel like you're in the hot seat because I have no clue what goes on show to show.
I literally didn't even know what I was like.
Yeah.
That was going.
I
You
didn't
just like
either.
show up.
I
I was
just
like,
show
all
up.
right, we'll see what happens.
Sometimes I know, you know.
Yeah.
And now today, what I'd like to talk about, you just brought it up. What do you feel should be in your dating profile? Like if you were out there again
got
and
this.
you were actually trying to have a real relationship, what would
Are
put
you
in
trying
there?
to have a real relationship?
I mean, I
Evidently, he is.
so here's what I'd say: is your profile needs to have whatever you're looking for, right?
And what does that look like?
Well, that's the thing. I think the issue is most people haven't taken the time to figure that out.
Oh yeah, that's
They
crazy.
don't know what they want. They just know what they don't want.
So
Very
right?
well put.
And
Yeah.
and so I think you need to put what you want. If you want
I
to
don't want
get
him to be
married and have
homeless.
kids, and you want to have, you know, a house in, you know, nature and have 7 kids, say that. If you want to be a nomad couple and travel, say that's what you're looking for. And I say it's more about like looking at like who is the person you want to like be with, and saying, hey, this is who I'm looking for. If you're this, swipe right. If you're not this, swipe left. And then also I think it's on that person to be the person that person wants.
Right.
Right? Because it's a
be
two-way
consistent.
street. Right? I think a lot of us, we know what we want, but we don't think about what does that person want. And they may not want what you are.
Right.
Which is okay. You can become that. But I don't
Not
think people...
always. Prime example.
Yeah.
Like, you know, some girls pretend like they don't want kids because the guy doesn't want the kids, but secretly she wants like 6. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and she's thinking, but I'm gonna change him, and then once he gets to
I
know
gotcha.
me,
I gotcha.
you know,
Yeah.
we'll have this conversation, and then when I accidentally get pregnant, it'll be okay.
Oh, no.
But it
Are a
never
lot of girls
is.
pulling that one?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't run into that yet? Just wait. Just wait.
I mean, my girlfriend right now really wants to have kids, and I'm like, let's wait a little.
Oh my
You know?
God.
But do you like in the long run? Is that something that
Eventually,
you're
I mean, I
okay,
want to
so-
do it when I'm like in my 30s.
But see, I know guys that are like hardcore. Nope, don't want kids. Don't want that kind of lifestyle.
No, I think
want
you should
freedom,
say
blah,
that.
Blah blah. They do, and they announce it. And the girls decide, you know what?
I'm gonna get in.
I'm gonna get in on this.
I'm gonna sink my talons
Hand
in
it
first.
over here.
Why?
Because our
It's
guest,
my stash.
there's more in this house. I'm certain we can have it brought to us.
Excuse me.
Here's, oh my God.
Sorry. If you want your
Give me that.
label showed for the alcohol that we pour, we are
are
open to
willing-
Take that cap
sponsors.
off.
Oh, that would be helpful. Thank you. Now, that just shows that
Observant.
Yeah.
You,
You
are
know,
so observant.
I'm a waitress. I'm so good at
Well,
it. So good at it. Okay, wow.
I would say don't
you
quit your
okay
day
there?
job, but
You know what? This is just
This
the way it
is her
for
day
me.
job.
This is what this is unfortunate. You know
Yeah.
what? If I were on a dating website, how do I put this out? Do you see what you just witnessed? How does one let somebody know that this is what they would be getting? Did you see what I just did?
I think
And
you
that's
send
the
them
way
a
I
link to
am.
the pod.
I think this is the way I am all the time. I won't notice if a cap is on something because my cap was off because I know to leave caps off.
Well, there you
Raquel, I get what you're saying. She's saying if you put everything in your profile, why bother dating? The whole point of dating is to ask questions and get to know each other in person.
Oh, I got this one. people are really
Okay, I didn't have anything to
into
say.
wasting time and
Oh.
not doing that actually.
Yeah.
And they feel if they go on even one date, is that what you were going to say? I'm sorry.
No.
What
Go
would you
ahead.
like to?
No, finish your
that
thought.
was
It's
actually
okay.
that was
No,
it.
that's okay.
That's the end of my thought.
I can answer the question. I
Oh.
think the reason why is because if you don't get them to swipe right initially, you can't even get the date. So you wanna put in there what you're looking for, because you might get people to swipe, but if it's not the people that you want, then you're not gonna want to go on a date with them anyways.
I want to take it even
I'm
deeper.
going to answer this in Raquel's terms.
I
That's a different era, Raquel. That's a different generation.
wow.
That's like,
Dated 3 months, married 24 years.
Yeah.
Who's
I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is that today's generation does not do that. They don't.
How did she phrase it again?
She said, "Why put everything in your why do you put
Oh.
all the information into your profile? That's the whole point of dating, is to get to know somebody
It's
on
like a
one-on-one."
resume.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
But in today's world, no. Like back in the day, that's what you did. You would go on date after date, and you get to know the person. You go on 3 or 4 dates, and be like, yeah, not bad, or oh my God, this guy's amazing, or yeah, no, out, like date 1. But you never
People
got
want
the resume. Now it's
instant
all
gratification.
about time management.
This is what's tricky with guys, right? Because like we were talking about earlier, like girls, they swipe on who they want to marry. Guys swipe. So girls, they're getting 90% more matches than guys. So if a guy isn't exactly what she's looking for, she'll just stop talking to him or ghost him or move on to the next one, because she has 100 other people she could be talking to. So guys, you have to swipe, like whatever, 100 people to get a match. And then from those matches, you have to talk to like 20 before you can get a date.
Now you've talked to 20, right? So the question is,
Oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
is it true that the less you say, the more attractive you become?
I think it depends on the person.
Because I figure a lot of these girls that are targeting the upper 10 percentile.
My goal was always just to get them on a date.
The more mysterious you are, I would think, the more intrigued they would be.
So what I did is I treated it like marketing. Okay.
Oh, do
And I
share.
said the same thing every single time, so I was always a step ahead.
Okay.
Right?
So, like, give me an example.
So I would say like, what was it? I like make it a script I use. It was like, I was like, is this where I submit my resume? Right? And then they're going to say like one of the three same responses, which is like yes, or like resume for what, or like just something along the lines of that. And then I could just have written responses that I'm going to reply with, and then point them to what I want to do, which is actually just go on a date with them. I don't want to sit there and have a 4-hour conversation in text.
So you act like a
I just
landing
want to get
page.
on exactly. It's literally exactly that. Like I just try to get them on an
You
actual
get 'em
date.
on a landing page. You work them through the funnel to get to the ultimate cash out.
Exactly.
Which is the date.
Exactly.
Did you find that when you actually were out on the
That's
date
hilarious.
that they looked
That's
how
brilliant.
you expected them to look from their profile pictures?
Normally, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Not
You gotta
so
be
many
careful though.
filters?
Some of these girls are wizards. Like,
Like-
I find they look
Wizards. That's a good word.
I find that what I found is it was more likely a catfish the higher the angle got.
Oh, yes.
Oh my
that's so
God.
true. That means the older
It's
they are.
one of the things that
Yeah.
makes me so embarrassed to be a woman. The way
you
that a lot
ladies
of
know
women
that trick?
they put on a towel and they're in their bathroom. At least the toilet isn't in the background, ladies. So there's that for us. But they take a picture from this angle, so there's like boobage
Yeah.
underneath the towel,
and you can't see the wrinkles on the neck.
yeah, because they're up
Or the
and,
eyes.
and
You want to know the one that bothered the crap out of me is when they take the picture but they cover their face.
What?
That's the one they all do. They all take the selfie mirror pic but it's
with
covering
the
your face.
phone and your-
It's
Oh.
like you
No.
realize that if I'm gonna go on a
No.
date with you, one,
We're
I
all
need to know
done.
what your face looks like.
We're all done
and
here.
two, if
Well,
I
you
can't, if you're covering your face, all you're telling me is that you're insecure.
Number one, and number two, what she's telling you is, I'm not interested in a relationship. Just let's have sex. Here's my body.
Maybe you're right, but I think it's
Here's
just
my
that girls
text.
have,
What do you bring
this
to the table?
societal
I got
pressure
my
and they get
tits,
judged.
I got my ass. I got my
Yeah.
long legs. I got my eyelashes. What else you want?
What was that
That's
last
true. That's all
sentence?
guys really need, right?
What was that last sentence you said? Can you remember what
Yeah.
you said like 2 seconds ago?
I mean, just basically, it's like, I forgot what I said.
Okay. I do that all the time. I'm like, I don't even listen to what
Yeah.
I just said. But,
Aaron, what did he just say?
huh?
Oh my God.
He's not paying
He
attention.
didn't even know who he. Okay.
Who?
But so most of these people, I just live in fear for people in approaching their 30s, because you are approaching that age where most people, unless society is going to change, are looking for something more real. And there are still people in the 40s and 50s age brackets looking to tweak a few things that aren't going to make them look like who they say they are. So that being said, when you're actually looking for something, like, do you have friends right now that you would say are actually legitimately looking for something that will last, that they can hang out with for a while?
I mean, yeah, I'd say especially now that I'm like 26, people are maturing more, moving more into that start a family kind of era.
Really?
I think it just depends, right? But I'd say the only people that aren't are I'd say at that age they are. It's like, unless you're just like, if you're still in your kind of like college fling stage in your late, like other side of 25, it's like, all right, that's kind of a red flag.
Were you cautious prior to 25? Like, were you
cautious about what?
Like dating or?
I mean, I was in like a, relationship all throughout the pandemic, and that was the one that sucked. Right. And, then from there, I didn't date for like another year. I think the big mistake people make, especially girls, is hopping straight into another relationship. Because if you're a hot girl, you're going to get taken up like that. Especially if you're in your early 20s, like you're just in your, but the problem is, if you don't take the time to actually reflect on your past relationship and why it didn't work out, you're just going to carry that same baggage into your next relationship.
Well, that sounds like a very smart statement.
And then that's when you just see these people hop from relationship to relationship to relationship. And like, even, we talk about red flags. One of the red flags I found out was before we went on our date, she had broken up with her fiance 2 weeks before we went on our first date.
Oh.
But I didn't know that. I didn't know that until like 6 months after we started dating.
That wasn't revealed to you until 6 months into your relationship?
And that was during,
in the dating community, no matter what age you are, you do actually have to ask, and we discussed this on a previous show, you do actually have to ask, are you single? You do. Then
really?
But that's not even enough. Then you also have to say, does someone else think that you're with them? You got to take it a step further. And now I'm learning from what you just said that this applies. How do you filter out deception when
not looking for hookups?
Well, okay, here's the thing. Lovely topic. You don't want to put what you're not looking for in your bio, in my opinion, because it just makes you look bitter, and it makes you look like
I can see that.
The reason that your last relationship didn't work out, and now you're just putting it out there and taking a big old shit all over it.
So maybe instead of saying what you're not looking for, say that by saying what you are looking for.
Well, there's that.
So instead of saying not looking for hookups, say looking for a serious relationship that can turn into something real.
Well, it would seem like that would be the right thing to do. I'm going to offer, and it's not wrong, but yet another alternative is show, don't tell. So what
they might take that a couple ways.
Well, here's the way that I mean it. I study dating coaches, and it's just a fascinating hobby. And one of the ones that I'm so fond of, was saying that in a show don't tell profile, well, everybody's out there putting out their laundry list of what they are. I have a great sense of humor. Great, show me. Say something funny in your profile.
That's really,
you see?
All right, that's really the key, is just be funny. That's what I do.
Well, I'm into that.
Yeah.
But, if you
that's
say
what
you're
I found
funny,
is like, that's the one thing that I was actually really surprised. What I've heard from a lot of girls is they care about them being funny more than they care about their look.
is that in the right before 30 age group, there's some quality being looked for. In general, would you agree with that? 50-50, the degenerates and people like you.
I'd say I have no data to base my opinion off of. I just have my own experiences.
Spoken like a statement. I recently, yesterday actually, was informed that a friend of mine who's about to turn 21, male, he's in college, he's doing his thing, still hasn't dated. And I was like, oh,
I believe it.
Is this like, a thing? Like, is it because he's not into girls? Is it because he's into guys? Like, what's the, no, totally into girls, 100% into girls. But he's like, I'm on the path. And when I decide that I'm going to start dating, it's going to be like a full 3-ring interview. I was like, Oh, like
What does he mean by I'm on the path? Is that because he's
Oh, I
like
know.
ambitious and he's focused and he
he's
doesn't want to be
just-
distracted?
He's just,
Yeah.
He's like, the girls in my age bracket right now do not interest me. They're all.
What does he spend his time doing?
He's like
he
full on
working?
studying, and he's
Cool.
in the middle of the fucking woods.
So I'd say I was honestly the same way in college. I was like, I would have like flings here to just like, keep myself safe.
Right.
Because the truth is, the girl that you want is going to be attracted to the guy like that. You aren't that person yet.
And that's the fascinating thing
yeah.
about this generation. I mean, you're a little bit past that generation, but still in that
You call me-
grouping, married before high school ends sort of deal.
And let's
Like,
do that before we can
like,
find out that we're going to be disgusted with each other. I would call you smart,
Yeah.
especially for the age group that you are here representing now. And I don't
Okay.
want you needing it later.
Well, right
Continue.
now,
It's a
It's
Sarah,
a tool for the conversation.
it's all about me, okay?
Okay. That's adorable.
My
I'm
generation,
79. 79, everyone.
my generation, it was all about, finding your hookup at homecoming or prom, and then preferably you.
I think that plays into it too, is the market you're in. Because if you're in a small town, like I was, it was funny because my girlfriend comes from
What gave me away on the small town? I'm just curious.
So my girlfriend, she lived in a small coast town, was 800 kids, right? So
I was
for
closer to that.
for my school, it's a big no-no to date someone your friend has already dated,
Oh yeah.
right?
Everyone
so
sees. Everyone
yeah,
would know.
so
it.
I
like,
think the big,
sorry.
hey Siri, remind me to hit on Jessica in 2 weeks,
In 2 days.
And so I think that plays a lot of it too, is where you live.
But see, then it goes back to the competition aspect. Are you going to be the first one to hit on her, or is there a lineup of 5 other guys?
Well,
'cause it's a small town?
here's where it gets even crazier. So with my generation, where this gets tough, and this is probably why in that community, it's all the guys in the entire world.
Yep.
Because they all stalk your Instagram and slide in your DMs.
That is true.
So you'll have these really hot girls in like a small town in Arkansas that typically would just date like a local farmhand, getting hit up by like guys in Miami that have yachts. You know what I mean? Covers them through a hashtag.
Do you find that in the reverse for you, your pool of available
Mm-hmm.
women? Is that overwhelming for you, or is that more advantageous for you?
I mean, I think for me, what I just focused on is kind of like he did. I just focused on becoming the best version of myself, and then let it come to me. Versus,
Well,
like,
I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I guess I'm saying, since you are in the world of online dating and you are on Facebook and
Yeah.
all these social media aspects, if you're getting hit on by people from other
Yeah.
states, and is that
oh,
overwhelming?
let me clarify. This only happens to girls.
Oh,
Guys don't get hit. Guys don't get like hot girls sliding in their DMs
Why
unless they're
not?
like celebrities, right? So basically, here's the problem. They've actually done studies that show a lot of guys in the same demographic. Joyce sliding my DM. And the reason why I provide that, another 21-year-old that's a broke college student,
No.
or is it the 32-year-old entrepreneur who makes 7 figures,
says he does.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, and is that guy sliding the DMs inviting you to come on his boat? Which
Yeah.
one are you going to say yes to, right?
Okay.
And so, but then the flip side happens, which is if the girls don't get in the relationship and they're hopping from deal to deal, at a certain point it flips. And now the guys in their 30s are disproportionately getting more results than the girls. Girls just mature quicker than guys.
That is true.
So girls have their prime early, and so they're going after these dudes in their 30s, and then the dudes in their 30s, they're killing it now. So now they're attracting the girls in the 20s and the girls in their 30s and the girls in their 40s and 50s. And so what happens is guys, it just takes longer to get to that point where they can have that demand for them.
And do you feel that's knowledge that's privy to a lot of youngsters today?
Depends, right? I think guys can take 2 routes.
Because
They
you seem very well educated in this department.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sink or swim situation. It's just the reality, whether or not they choose to complain and fight what's true, or they choose to try to become one of those guys. It's really up to them, right? You could sit there all day and argue how that's unfair that majority of girls want a small percentage of guys. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change reality. So you can either try to become one of those guys, or you could fight it and complain. Girls are too selective. It's like, okay, yeah, do you think that a girl's going to see that post of you complaining about girls and be like, you know what? That guy, I want to go on a date with him.
Yeah.
right?
There's got to be more to him. It's not, yeah.
I can save him.
I can save him.
Right, but
yes.
it's like,
Oh
okay,
my God.
even if you're right, is that going to give you any better of a chance, or is that just going to make you look like, you know, the guy that isn't one of them? You're just like pre-qualifying. You're just projecting these girls that you aren't that, and that's just going to make them want you even less.
I
Was,
can
this,
save
was that a
him.
friend of yours who said that?
He went to my high school. We won't say who it is.
Well, no,
But I
that
see
is
his
good.
Facebook post.
Did you say it? Like, would you, like, if he asked
not gonna
you,
tell
what
him
would
that.
you're not gonna, oh yeah, you don't want to impart any information.
I
like,
mean, I don't
dude.
know him well enough to be, like, he's like an acquaintance. Like, we had some
Oh.
classes together.
Yeah.
I'm not going to reach out to him and be like, hey, buddy, you're a loser. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just going to let him figure it out, you know? Because here's the thing. I could tell him that. And is he going to go do something about it? No, because if he would have already done it.
Touche.
Well, on the flip side of that, does he know?
Now, yeah.
I think he knows.
Because not everybody is privy.
Privy to what?
The knowledge that girls aren't attracted to a guy who is overweight.
So
and
I think they
uninterested in-
know, but it's rather the question not whether or not they're in denial.
Right.
Right? But that's fine.
Doesn't it take a friend to go, hey, dude, you might be in denial, but if
Like, you need to start going to the gym. You need to get a better job than Best Buy.
or
right?
know what you're talking about.
You
if you're
gotta
gonna
wear
work
you
at
gotta
Best
wear
Buy.
deodorant and start smelling better.
Wow. Hey, that
There you
rhymed.
go.
Sweet baby, did you figure all this out from being a
Hey,
marketing
Aaron, remember
major?
that rhyme. We're going to turn it into a
Yeah,
t-shirt.
make that a shirt.
Yeah. Oh, totes. Did
Get
you?
funny or get money. There you go.
Most people in your age bracket really understand everything that you just said, so it makes me curious.
How do I know that?
Yeah, but yeah, because you remarked, you know, marketing and such. Help us
Because
to understand this.
because I realized the reality, which looked like, and I put in the habits in my life to become that caliber. And that doesn't happen overnight. When I was in college,
Yeah.
because I was
I
like,
dropped
this is
out
a waste
too.
of money. Leia, let's go.
I never went.
Good, you saved your money.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for understanding. It's so
Yeah.
nice. Nobody really responds that way usually. Thank you.
No,
I
it's
saved
true.
money,
I mean,
people.
especially nowadays with like AI coming out, the entire education system is completely pointless.
It's
really is.
true.
Because anything that you could learn, we can type into ChatGPT and it can tell us immediately.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
why do we need to know this information? Like we don't, especially if we're paying $120,000 for it. And all those
Exactly.
jobs that you're gonna, get a degree for, where you could actually get the job, is gonna be replaced in the next 10 years with
a
AI
robot.
anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you paying for?
Well said.
Don't get me started on that. I won't
Cheers
shut
to
up.
that.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Would you ever?
Went to 2 colleges and dropped out.
Hey.
Hey, to edumacation.
That's a double major right there.
Edumacation,
Yeah.
people. So, would you ever go and get a KFC bucket
Wait, what?
and then go
We're doing
and
this.
go and find a live chicken?
Okay.
You got to know somebody who has
And ask
one
for a
or know where
refund
to
and
get
say
one.
it's undercooked?
Well, yes. Did you see that one? These are things I want to know.
Wait,
how
was
do
this
you?
already done?
Oh,
I thought
well,
this was
I
a
don't-
brilliant idea
No,
of
I
yours.
just,
No,
I
no,
just
I
put
heard-
two and two together.
I heard about this, but I don't know that he did it. I don't know that it was done. He was just talking about doing it. See, there are the talkers and then there's the doers. Would you ever do that just for fun?
Probably not.
What would you do just for fun?
I would pay someone to do it for me.
Why wouldn't you want to do it? Why wouldn't you want the
I'm
experience?
busy. I got stuff to do. You know?
What's more important than that? That's
I feel
humor-
like
A lot
the
of stuff?
bottom line is he feels like he has integrity and he wouldn't do that.
Listen,
But we would love to see it, so
I
we
have
pay
enough.
for it.
I have enough
'Cause that's
integrity.
integrity.
I have enough integrity to not do it myself, but I don't have enough integrity to not pay someone to do
Yeah, exactly what I just said.
it. Right?
I must
Yeah.
not have any integrity, and what's the news there?
Well,
I'm
I'll
on
pay
a
you
show.
$50. You want to do it?
You know what? I would do it for free for my own pleasure.
Then
okay?
let's go.
You know what? Somebody needs to go and get that KFC bucket. That's what the holdup is. My friend has chickens.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, the harder part is
Well, I
finding
can get
it.
you a bucket.
I know a friend
If
with
I
chickens.
get you a bucket, will you do it? If you get the chicken? On air right now, I'm calling you out.
Yeah. Well, Aaron, would you
I-
film it?
I
I would want it. I would want
I
it
triple
filmed.
dog dare that.
I triple
Oh.
chicken dare that.
You guys are weak. That's all you're daring me to do. Oh my God, that would be so
we
fun.
were
Right.
talking
Well-
about this in the car. I said if you're gonna do that, it has to be the big live chicken, right? And then you know how they have the sides where it's like the mashed potatoes.
potatoes,
You
those
just
have to
gotta
be there?
have you just gotta have a plain
A
old.
pota-
It's gonna be
No,
enough.
you don't go through the drive-through.
Yes, you do.
You walk in, and you go, I need to see the manager, please. And then you go, I just
And
went.
then you wait to see
I
who
just,
the manager even is.
there's that. I just went through the drive-through, and as I was leaving, I heard noises, and is this normal? Because it seems a little undercooked.
Okay.
If you do it through the drive-through, you run the risk of the person not seeing inside the bucket. You
The
have
chicken
bad
could
camera
escape.
angles.
The
All right,
chicken,
here's
chicken
the real
could
question.
escape.
What if they go cook it, though?
No.
Oh my God, I would be in full support of that anyway.
I would protect the chicken. This would be my friend's pet chicken.
Let
Here's
us
the
help
thing.
you solve that. You know what? It wouldn't happen because nobody in any of these restaurants actually knows how to de-feather a chicken,
Also,
let alone take its head
They're
off.
probably not even cooking chicken back there.
Doing all of your stuff. Everybody has a different situation.
Yeah, everyone has their own
What
path.
do you two think about the situation? Wouldn't it be interesting if, you know how people are just born good looking, some people, and they don't know.
Oh, I know. No,
how,
just kidding.
and they don't know how to appreciate that. Now, what if everyone were born looking the same? Everyone is given an equal billing on that, but then you get better or worse looking depending upon how much you
Is
actually.
this a Rick and Morty episode?
Is it? I've never watched
I feel like
them.
it is.
Well, can you complete the question?
I don't know.
What's the question?
The question is, wouldn't it be interesting if we were all born looking the same, but you got better or worse looking depending upon the value, the legitimate value that you add to the world?
I can argue that that's coming.
Oh.
And here's why.
Really?
Gene
is like-
edits. Okay, so we're reaching a point where literally you can grow a baby in a bag.
That is true.
Right?
Or if it's growing inside you, you can go have that shit altered.
And then
Yeah.
you can alter the genome of that baby.
Yes.
So if we reach a point where everyone is 6'2", just all these attributes that we determine is like attractive.
All very smart to be doctors. Yeah.
Yeah, here's where it gets even creepier, where I think we're really headed, is inevitably, so that, do you know, have you seen this company Elon Musk started where they're creating these like brain chips?
I haven't seen the brain chips, but I know.
So
Elon
basically
Musk.
they have these chips that they're creating that you install in your brain that can like rewire your brain.
How much
And
is that, and where
it's
can I
gonna
get
be a
it?
lot. It's gonna be a lot. But like at first the chip is gonna be to reverse Alzheimer's and
That's
stuff like that,
fabulous.
right?
Does it help
But
with-
inevitably the chip is going to connect to the cloud and connect with AI, and then we're going to have superhumans. So if you don't have this chip, then you're like second-class citizens.
Awesome.
So that's what we're
It
headed
is
to.
a Rick and Morty episode.
Should we put that in our dating profiles?
Yes, like
I
a
have
chip
the
or no
chip.
chip.
There's
the chip.
two
It's
shows.
It's like, you know how
that
they
I'm
have the
gonna
blue
refer on
check?
this.
You're going to have like a chip check.
Oh my God, did you and your girlfriend have a conversation about getting off of the dating profiles? Like, is that a thing now when you get into a relationship?
Oh
and you
yeah,
have
that's
to
like
say-
official. It's like that's when you
That's
know.
what makes a relationship
It's not when you have the
official,
conversation. It's when you delete Tinder that you know it's real.
Oh.
Right?
Wow.
So there's always that awkward
wow,
there's that
to
awkward
delete
period.
Tinder house.
Yeah, there's that awkward period when you
House.
first start where it's like you guys haven't made it official yet, and you both still have the app, but you're not really talking to people.
Me too, Rick.
Right? And yeah, so it's like that's when we know it's real, is when those apps are deleted off the phone.
Now, how to show us what that looks like? Who brings that up? Is it a big deal? Who says, "Hey, I'm getting off all the
I want to
whore
learn more about
sites."
these brain chips.
You know, oh my God.
I'm
Inevitably,
sorry.
we're going to be swiping in our head. We're going to be like, swipe right, swipe right.
I find that whole
But-
conversation kind of frightening. No.
What was the question again? Sorry.
When in the relationship, in your opinion, is it appropriate to have the conversation of I'm getting off of the Tinders?
I find a couple months in. I think it's really just looking at I think it's just important up front to be honest about your intentions.
Is it the part where you guys have the discussion of, are we going to date other people, or like, is this it?
Well, I think it
Is
just
that a conversation
what
you have?
I tell my friends is just be honest. Like if you're only trying to hook up with a person you know you're not going to date them, tell them. Then you're going to reach a point where they start catching feelings and things get awkward.
When my husband and I were dating,
Yeah.
he asked me to go steady.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Like
He's from the South.
Yo, there
in
we go.
Vegas.
Yeah, he's from the south of Vegas.
No, he's
No.
from the South but lives in Vegas.
Yeah.
And he asked me to go. That was his way of
That
saying,
was his
let's
one?
be
That was his
exclusive.
move? Oh, let's go
He
study.
gave me his mother's ring and he said, can we go? This is the only thing my mother gave me. And I'm giving it to you as a symbol.
I'm not
If
gonna
you
lie. I
would go
pulled-
steady. If
I'm
you
not
would
gonna
go
lie.
steady.
I pulled the go study move in high school. I'm not
Yeah?
gonna lie.
Wait.
We'll brush up on our anatomy. You know?
That is not the same.
If you
We'll
could,
see if we have chemistry.
Hey, you know what? That's funny because I took biomed in high school, and that was sort of the same deal.
if you could let young women that are still
Play
on the
doctor
Tinders or
early.
on
Yes.
whatever the sites,
Because I had
if you could
intended on
give
going to
them
med school.
some sort of piece of information of how they could make it easy for all the bullshit to actually, and these are women, I should
You
start
just
with
pull
the-
out the sword and start cutting through the rose bush.
Well,
man.
I was going to say, I
It's
need
like
to
Sleeping
start with
Beauty.
the
Get to the
caveat.
fucking castle. Get to
These
the tower.
are not the women that you have been mentioning previously who are just looking for the hottest 32-year-old with their jet already.
So 4
Dogs.
more
We're on
years
our way.
before the jet. Got it.
Whatever.
I say 3. I think we got 3. We're getting closer.
Lucy, don't
Things
confuse me.
are moving.
I'm sorry.
Now you confuse me. Now I can't remember
but
where
you're
I was
asking
going.
what
Yeah,
advice you'd give for
what
girls
would you
for
say, like
weeding
if you
through
were,
the bullshit.
if you had a bunch of friends
Yes.
that are girls, like one of my favorite dating coaches, the way that he's with you people, and now he's a very successful dating coach. He has all the jets. Okay, so where I'm going here is, what would you advise seeing that could be?
I know
be
exactly
improving
what to say, and I think the advice goes to both genders. It's identify exactly who you want. One would
And
be
know it.
literally take a blank notebook in front of you and try to write as many pages you can on the exact person you would want to date.
It's like practical magic, people.
Right?
profile look like? Go deeper with me. So you're
We're not talking about
scrolling-
acrobats.
So I'll tell you
You're scrolling
exactly
through
what
the
it looks
Tinders.
like, right?
And what do you see there?
Step 1, more specific. You want a rich guy. Okay, how rich? We're talking 10 million. We talking 300,000. We talking he works a 6-figure job that's reliable. Be specific, because to someone 100,000 might be rich, and to someone else 10 million might be rich.
Yeah, but
identify
at 10
what
million,
that is.
They're workaholics. You don't ever see
And
them,
take
and they
that
have
into
multiple
account.
mistresses.
Take that into account. If you're going after those people, they have options, which means that you're going to have to be something really,
Stellar.
really good
Yeah.
in order to make them your unique option.
And they won't be
Right?
around much to keep
And so
up
it's a
that figure.
combination of being honest with yourself about who do I think it's a balance. I'm the person that would attract that person.
But
Right?
aren't you making women sound like what would that look like? You were saying that the girl could put in her profile, I want XYZ. And I feel like that presents women and men too in their own way, you know, if you're doing your profile in this way. And just
Well, let me. I know the answer to that. If you want that too, you're gonna swipe, and it was all the stuff that I want too. That's not a red flag to me. That's a green flag. It is a filter for a reason. While yes, it may be filtering more people out. That's the point. Is it's weeding out all the bullshit. Now you just have the people that are interested in the same thing you want.
I feel like the translation here is his generation is very black and white about things, whereas our generation is more like, if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, we like.
And the
we like
difference is because of
suggestion.
2 things. It's because we're living our life to be able to project it on social media, especially
Oh my
girls.
God, that is so
especially
true.
girls. So girls are looking at it like, this is one thing I learned about dating. Yeah, I this is one thing I learned about being a guy is, guys, we don't really care about our Instagrams, right?
Yeah.
But girls will judge your Instagram as a pre-qualification on whether or not they want to go on a date with you.
And
Yeah,
then
but-
stalk you to see if you're being
Exactly.
authentic.
So if you are a guy and you don't have a well-mannered Instagram, girls look at that as a red flag. Which to most guys, we're just like, oh God, I guess we got to figure this out, you know?
Yeah.
Because that was me. I was never the guy that was like, you care about my Instagram? That's a red flag to me, right? But the truth is, girls care about your Instagram not because they care what your Instagram looks like. They care about your Instagram because they care what theirs looks like. And if you're going to be in theirs, what yours looks like affects theirs.
That is true.
Right?
do you think this
And
is
if you don't
healthy,
mention
Jackson?
being
No.
in a relationship with,
It's
oh,
not
yeah.
healthy at all.
No.
And that's why there's all these issues happening with my generation.
And
in dating.
Raquel makes a good point. It's missing the human aspect.
Well,
Right? It's missing
it
that
is.
human
Do you-
interaction.
Yeah.
But
And-
that's,
and that's
kind,
why
that's
I've put
part
in-
of the problem of this generation, of this dating. Not I don't want to call it a profile, but this sort of ideal way of dating is isolating what is red flags and what is green flags, and where you have commonality, because that used to happen for us on an actual date.
So that's
in
why
the human aspect.
That's why I created when I was dating, I literally treated it like I was marketing, right? In marketing, you need volume.
Yeah.
You need to say the same thing every single time.
Damn it.
And
Oh, you mean you have to be consistent?
yeah, so think about
Wow.
like
Repetition.
Imagine that.
repetition, right? Because like
This is why I suck at marketing, Sarah, because I hate repeating myself.
But here's
Yes,
the
you
thing:
do.
is I had no choice but to do that because I had to go through so much volume just to get a single date. Because girls, like I said, girls are very, very picky on who they will actually go on a date with, and the reason why is because they're dealing with all these dirt bags,
This is true.
right? And so they're going to be very, very specific. If you aren't exactly what they want, if you don't check every single box, they'll just ghost you.
Yeah, but do you want that girl? Is she even right for you anyway? If she's just going to dismiss you that quickly, shouldn't there be some curiosity in dating? Especially you guys just got here.
But here's
I'm early 30s and have to spend time together with no internet.
So-
that's
so-
called COVID, and that's called there's a lot of dysfunction.
So here's the answer: is this all sounds really dysfunctional because it is, but the dynamic is a different conversation once you're actually dating.
Well, yes.
So this is more of the conversation of the process you go through to
Just to get a date.
on the date.
Yes.
From there, the conversation changes. Then it's more of a nuance of actually having the one-on-one interaction and being people.
unless your
but the
date-
problem is what we're discussing is the actual nuance of playing the game to get the first date in the.
Yeah,
you
and then
know,
you got to battle
in
the
the first
idea of dating somebody that is stuck in this mode during the date.
Oh, if a girl's on her phone during the date, you're
Bye.
not getting a second one.
Yeah.
You know what I
We're all
mean?
done.
You know,
here.
like my point is, you just went through all this trouble to filter out the one person you're going to go on a date with. You finally get her on a date,
Yes.
right? And it's such an obsession that they can't even.
But
have
this is
the
different.
human
This
factor,
is a
right?
different conversation.
It is. I'm sorry.
Because here's why there's and this is where maybe my generation has separated these two worlds a little more. You guys are looking at it from a full picture. From my generation, there's the online world and there's the real world. So you play the game online to get the real world interaction. Once you're actually face to face, the dynamics are different.
Okay.
That's when it becomes more like the traditional dating. What we're discussing is the process of lining up that first date in the first place.
It's like player one.
Right? And you literally got to treat it like a video game. Like literally, because as a guy, if I took it personally, all the girls that ghosted me, I would be depressed. And I would consider myself above average in the results I've been able to produce from these dating. I know guys that haven't gotten the same results I have. And so if I went through the amount of people, I probably had to weed through, realistically, about 20,000 swipes to get a girlfriend. Damn. 20,000.
1,000?
Yes.
Sweet
Because
baby
about
Jesus.
1 in 100 match, and then 1 in 20 get on a date.
Wow.
As a guy.
I don't know.
That's as a guy. Girls, 99% match,
I feel bad for you.
and then they're picking the 1% to go on the dates.
I wouldn't have the
Here's-
energy to do that.
And I can speak to
I'd
that
become
just
celibate.
because you're out on the
And this
date
is
with
why
them.
most
I'd
guys
become an entrepreneur.
And no, this is exactly right. This is the problem. Look at the statistics. Most guys in their early teens and 20s aren't dating because of this. And that is what's happening.
And
it's
that's
because
it, yes!
the 21-year-old girls aren't going after the 21-year-old guys. They're going after the 29-year-old guys that have money.
And I say to the guys that are younger, good riddance. That's not the kind of girl you want to end up with anyway. Absolute. That is not your girl.
But that's what I'm
that's the
saying,
thing.
why you're like, oh, why is this guy just focusing on building himself up? It's because he realizes he has no fucking choice.
yeah.
Right? Because if you want that girl, even if, yes, of course, they're going after the guys, but if I was the 21-year-old girl, I would go after the 29-year-old guy too. Why? Because
you
who
really?
do you want? Do you want the guy that can't pay rent because he's a broke college student? Or do you want the guy that's inviting you to go to Mykonos for the weekend?
Yeah,
right?
no.
You know what?
It's kind of hard to say no to that.
But
I
it's
get it.
still, you're still talking about a temporary situation. I would like to put out there
But
that
if you're a 21-year-old girl, you're not worried about that. You're
Maybe
worried about
not.
the fact that this guy is about to fly you out to Mykonos with your two friends and go on a yacht. So you can get your Instagram picture.
sweet baby Jesus.
And that is the moral of this story, people.
I guess
that is the moral of this story.
I
If
guess
you guys
so.
want to hear more, we're going to be hanging out on TikTok a little bit later. and finalizing this. We are out of time, people. This
are.
is Hose on Air. Thank you for joining us.
Jackson,
you guys
thanks
having
for
me.
being
thank
here.
you. It has been a pleasure.
Cheers.
Jackson, ladies
Thank
and gentlemen.
you to 702
Thank you.
Justice for our beautiful
702
sponsorship.
Justice. Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.